On tonight's episode, we talk about A Christmas Story Christmas and the Fabelmans.
And other pop culture news. We saw a lot this past days. It's the holiday, so we have a little bit more time to watch. Also, we had a little new content, Christmas content. As a matter of fact, there's one on the list that didn't make the list. It should be on the list. I just realized Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk about all that. And also, we saw the brand new The Fabelmans. The newest, latest Steven Spielberg movie. In this case, is like a autobiographical. But let's do things in order. Let's start talking about...
Should we start with the Christmas stuff?
Christmas stuff, yes.
Okay. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special was pretty much what you expect.
It's available on Disney Plus. It's short and sweet. I don't think it's 2 hours. I think it's probably...
It was like one, maybe.
An
it was
episode.
Short. Yeah. It was pretty much what you'd expect. There were hijinks. There were heartwarming moments. Shenanigans. Malarkey. Things of that nature. It was fun.
Yeah. Recall, call back to Kevin Bacon being the hero.
Yes.
And that's all in the trailer, and there's jokes about it. It's fun, and it's about friends. There's tropes in modern television and film more and more that your family... In the case of these shows I mentioned, are your family, are your friends. So in this one, I don't think they could get out of that, because Star-Lord's father is a evil god. His mother died. Nebula is the daughter of Thanos, who also died.
Yeah, and was the worst.
He does found real family in what's a bucket? Mantis. Yeah, but it's always about friends, because
found family.
Family.
I think is the term.
Because I guess they could expand. I mean, Drax, in this case specifically, Drax's family was killed. Rocket, who knows?
Yeah.
Groot. So in this case specifically, is more a cause of the story than the tropes, because the shows, you see people that have families, but the families are distant, never show. I guess it's because of casting, because of logistics. Anyways, so in this one, the family found of Guardians are working to cheer each other for Christmas, and they do a really nice job.
They do, yeah, and it really carries this whole idea of giving at Christmas and not expecting or receiving, but this whole idea of giving and caring for the people you love and and all that. And I think they did a really lovely job. It was pleasant. It was enjoyable. If you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, you will enjoy this.
Short and sweet, is available on Disney Plus. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, whatever they call. It might be too late for Christmas special, but hey, you still can watch it.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, also on Disney Plus, we watched all 3 Santa Claus films, and then in preparation for and then finishing the Santa Clauses TV series. Yeah,
that did started. It was kind of the whole premise of the show, and it's on the trailer, so no spoilers, is Santa is retiring and he's looking for a replacement. And the whole premise was like, I don't know, I don't like that. Especially the candidates they present, the candidates that they find. And I was like, how Tim Allen agreed to come back for this, But once you watch the entire show, it kind of works. And some of the things he goes through that makes, I'm not gonna spoil, but he goes through the lore deep into the whole Santa and
a Yuleverse, if you will.
The Yuleverse, and it was fun. It was entertaining, and yeah, Tim Allen is Santa, and he shall be. The show was renewed for season 2.
Really?
Yes. Besides the fact that increase the viewings, the numbers of viewings on the original movies, the show was successful and got renewed.
Yeah.
It was renewed. What else about that one?
I felt like overall it was kind of meh. The first Santa Claus movie, one of my favorite Christmas films. Definitely one of my favorite Santa origin story movies. It's solid. It holds up. I love it still. The second one is and the third one So this one came back up to a solid.
So you hate Mrs. Claus? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. That's not even
that's
close
the
to what I was
second
saying.
one.
Yeah, this is the second one. So the first one was great. The second one was not as great. The third one just doesn't need to exist.
I think the third one has problems,
Yeah.
and some of the similar problems, very similar problems from the third one are on this show.
Yeah.
The whole antagonist villain trying to take over, and even the lore, the narrative universe excuses for that to happen. On this one, they created a new one, which was basically one that happened before. So yeah.
I will say in this one, they added 2 new elf characters that I thoroughly enjoyed and really built up the whole like elf side of the North Pole. So
yeah, these two have more. Even though we didn't get to know them in depth, they have more lines, so they're more important than the girl that serves in Coco on the first movie. Or,
Yeah, although I still think it was a huge marketing blunder that they did not what a perfect marketing thing for Disney, like the king of marketing, to come out with like a special hot chocolate and be like, this is Julie's hot chocolate that she spent 1,200 years.
They might have
perfecting.
that at Disney
it could have been,
parks.
They might, but think about that
Christmas
on the
season.
shelves at Walmart. I would buy that. I would pay too much money for that. I just think they blew it, is all I'm saying, in the marketing department.
They might have during Christmas season at the parks. It's they don't have through other companies, because I guess it has to come from other companies, right?
I guess so, but I mean, Stranger Things did that. Stranger Things for season 4, they had frozen pizzas, they had brownie mixes, they had all kinds of snacks and treats like that were themed with the show. I just think, or at least like publishing a recipe online, getting like some kind of TikTok trend. I'm just saying.
Anyways, so Santa Claus is the name of the show, because it's a family. So there's brand new characters, the kids, and they are good addition. They're funny and entertaining. And yeah, what else?
I think that's all I've got for it. It's a really nice addition to the really perhaps overpopulated holiday special genre, but it was pleasant and fun and child friendly, and also really nostalgic for those of us who grew up with Tim Allen as Santa Claus.
Yeah, and he remains Santa, if you know what I mean. If not, go watch the show. It's available on Disney Plus. Again, still time. The year's not over.
It's true. We are still in that sort of nebulous void between Christmas
Because
and New Year's.
if you want to talk technicality, there's still 3 wise men looking for Jesus, which is the reason for Christmas. Even though that's a pseudo technicality, because Jesus wasn't really born in December. But anyways,
time is a construct. Okay, where do we go next? His Dark Materials, or
there's still more Christmas. They have a Christmas Story Christmas.
Oh yeah,
the sequel
gosh.
third installment on the Christmas Story universe. The classic A Christmas Story. About what's his bucket? Ralphie
Parker.
that wants BB gun. They do have a sequel. It's called The Christmas Story 2, and they also have a summer installment called My Summer Story, I think. anyways, this is a brand new sequel. Is what 20, 30 years later?
I think 30.
30 years later, so Ralph is an adult, and he comes back home, and during Christmas, and it's very interesting. It's very well done, and it kind of connects to the first one, in a very cool way, because it loops. It continues the first one, and then loops back to the first one, because, well, you're gonna have to watch to see why. But I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think it was yeah, what he said. It was good. It maintains a lot of the. Well, first of all, they were able to get a lot of the original cast back. The parents are recast. But
the mother,
yes, the mother's recast. But Ralphie,
the friends,
Flick, Schwartz, Randy, they're all the same, and that was delightful. There are lots of nods to the old one, but there's also, you can see a lot of growth. This is a very different story. Ralphie's got his own kids now. He's figuring out, now he's got a grown-up problem. Now his biggest problem is, following his dreams versus providing for his family. So there's like a nice progression there, but still a lot of the same like core things that make A Christmas Story such a lovely movie.
And it's still I can't remember when the original was made, but it still appeals. It's autobiographical, and it goes back to the 50s. A time.
No, this is in 73.
On the 70s, it goes back to when some adults now were kids, similar to the original. That goes when adults, when the movie was released, were kids.
Yeah.
So it's still playing on that, and it does a really good job. Fun fact: the movie takes place in, what's it called? Holman, Ohio, is it? Indiana?
Michigan?
Wisconsin? Sure.
I don't know, upper Midwest. Somewhere very cold.
But the movie was shot in Bulgaria, in Netherlands. No, was it?
I just remember Bulgaria.
Denmark, Bulgaria, Norway.
I just keep saying cold
Canada.
places.
But yeah. Anyways, just a fun fact. They rebuilt the house. They rebuilt part of the neighborhood, which was pretty cool. It was I guess it was cheaper, and also they have the proper snow. But yeah, overall was really good. I never saw the second one.
Me neither.
Neither the Summer Story, but I thought this was a really good follow-up really good follow-up sequel revival sort of. Yeah, it has heart like the first one, but now is a different kind of heart because, well, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And if anything, as I said, going back to the 70s, when some of the adults now were kids, at the same time, if you watch the original when you were a kid, you're now watching as an adult. So Christmas, it's a bit different for you because, you are not the kid waiting for Santa. You might be Santa.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I liked about this is like we had I love a good arc. I love growth. I love character development. And we see this. The first one is Ralphie as a little kid and all the anticipation of picking out the right present and all those other things for Christmas. And now we see Ralphie as an adult and now I'm an adult, and so Christmas is different for me. Like we're coming at it from a different angle of trying to provide a good Christmas for our families and, recreate that magic for our own children. And I just thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And delightful.
And
they did a great job with like the sets and the costume. Everything was like just really well done.
Yeah, and of course the movie is full of references and callbacks to the original, including the fact that he hits his daughter in the eye,
yes,
which was his biggest fear
in
the first one.
Yeah. One of my favorite like subtle things is we see him different times he's just kind of frustrated, and so he walks off sort of mumbling under his breath, exactly the way his dad did in the first one. This is another thing we can all relate to as we age into adulthood and all that, where we slowly start turning into our parents, and I just thought that was a nice touch. We don't ever like hear the swear words, but like we know what's happening. The whole like anyway. So lots of really just delightful little touches like that. That's gonna give us, I think, broad appeal, a lot of relatability, and it was just lovely.
A Christmas Story Christmas is available on HBO Max. So was the original. So if you want to watch back to back, again, there's the place.
Yeah. Okay. Also on HBO Max, we finished the third season of His Dark Materials,
which I never read the books, so I can give my perspective of adaptation. I saw the original. I saw a movie called The Golden Compass with Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman. Right. So that's my reference. But this one, it had some really good moments. It had some really slow, even kind of boring moments. The end, in specifically, the final chapter, it was good, but it was way too long. I think they could cut the last 2 episodes in one, because the whole thing throughout the last episode, it takes forever when you start getting hints of what's gonna happen, and when you know what's gonna happen, it kind of starts dragging. I don't know if they changed much. I do know they changed. I mean, the whole diversity woke thing. There's the Mary character, right? In the book, she finds love. She finds a man. In this one, they put a woman. What else did I notice? What else?
I would agree with that. It definitely dragged at the end, and I don't remember feeling this from the books, but I feel like at the last episode of this one, so we have this whole development, this like massive like multiversal celestial war, and then in the last episode they made it all about Will and Lyra's relationship, which was really important, but I don't remember like the whole focus of the novels changing at the very end. They also glossed over a couple things that I thought were really important. And here we see it on screen, but if you didn't read the books, you probably didn't really grasp what it was or how significant it was. Overall, I would say they did a really good job with adapting these books into a series. The production design was beautiful. I think everyone did a great job. All the actors did a great job with the parts they were given, and the effects were really well done. There were definitely some things that could have been cringe that they did a fantastic job with. So like overall positive, but not without problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, most of the problems were the pace, the cutting. But the last episode was really beautiful. It was sad, extremely sad.
I cried through most of it.
But it was beautiful, and that was similar in the book. It put one card at the end that's it's like, but Lyra might return, Avengers return.
Yeah, it was like she had more adventures, but that's another story.
Yeah. So, I don't know if seeing another story was a good, because of course she has all the stories. She didn't die. Her life keeps going, but the way they said it kind of hints they're gonna do more. Anyways, anything else about His Dark Materials?
I don't think so, because I really want to talk about this next movie.
His Dark Materials available on HBO Max, all 3 seasons. So if you want to binge, I don't recommend binging. I think if you should space out. Yeah. Because again, the pace is
Okay. Okay, this is the one that I'm like really excited about.
Avatar?
No, never that. Never that.
The Way of Water.
No, that one's fine. If you want to talk about The Last Airbender, I'm here. Or even Legend of Korra. That'd be fine, but not that one. Anyway, Steven Spielberg's new movie, The Fabelmans. We finally got to see that in theaters.
Okay, so right away, I'm going to say something about Avatar, The Way of Water. Both, right? It's 3 hours and something, right? It drags, the story doesn't move, it's not compelling, it's not interesting, the characters are all the same, they're flat, no depth, even though he's going to claim differently. Yeah. He's going to claim this movie is important, it's more important than superheroes, because these people have real problems. It's like, come on, dude, this is fiction, and even if you metaphorize reality, it's not real problems. Anyways, 3 hours and he couldn't catch you. But he might catch you. Someone that thought it was so beautiful. Oh, it's so cool, it's so blue. Wow, man. Anyways.
And there are people out there who are loving it, and good for them. But
sure.
Not
I'm not loving it. Is a lot. There
are a lot of people watching. On Facebook who are like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing.
Anyways, Spielberg did this one in 2.5 hours, and from beginning to end, it's a class on how to tell a story. It's a class on how to make a movie. It's like you've compelled by all the characters. You know all the characters. Some better than others, but you get to know them, and you create empathy for them. You learn their dreams, you learn their fears and their problems, and you don't want to go anywhere. He could tell that for 19 hours, you still would be there. The time is the magic of cinema, and Spielberg does that. It's like the time gets compact in that moment that it doesn't matter if it would be 3, 6, 9 hours.
I never would have guessed it was 2.5 hours. I didn't pay attention. I don't really pay attention to the time.
And it's
I thought it was maybe an hour and a half.
It's just
like,
one.
It felt.
Yeah, it's just one first thing about this, because you saw Avatar is like the longest, and he wants to make even longer, and it doesn't hold you. And in this one, from minute 1 to the credits rolling, you're there. You're part of that family. But anyways, you what do you want to say about The Fabelmans?
I mean, just more glowing praise and adoration. And it was beautiful storytelling. It reminded me a little bit of Belfast, simply in the fact that we have this great director doing kind of a memoir / autobiography, but where there really isn't even a line between like fiction and nonfiction. Things are dramatized, fictionalized, edited, whatever. But still telling this beautiful story about how he came to be, who he is, and what informs his art. And Spielberg is so good at this. He's so good at conveying emotion and making us feel things and drawing us up into this narrative universe. There's a couple shots at the beginning where it's just like a half-second thing, but right away we're transported to like these moments from films that we grew up with. Like we see Boy Scouts climbing around rocks and just like bam, Indiana Jones. And
we see them on bikes.
We see them on bikes. They round a corner on bikes, like bam, E.T. And these were movies that were huge for me as a kid. So there's that element of it, and then he's telling the story about a family, and there's no bad guy, there's no good guy. They're just humans dealing with life, but even without like a true villain or a true hero or anything, it's just this beautiful story. And oh my gosh, it was so well made, so well done. I am a huge fan.
Yeah, no, it's Spielberg, so everything he does is spectacular. But on this one specifically, I was really impressed on how there's a difference. There's some difference between this and Belfast. Belfast, the main character, Kenneth Branagh, young kid. He was really young, so everything that was happening, it was still he wouldn't process as an adult, or even a teenager. In this case, we advance a little bit on the story, and from kid to teenage years to adulthood, we see more of the real world instead of the fantasy that you see as a kid. But anyways, either way, both movies are great. But one thing that I was really impressed on this one, it was how Spielberg was courageous enough to expose himself and his family in a way that was like, wow. It's like, of all the things he could do, the other things he did, now he told the story, and he didn't try to make it perfect and fantasious.
No.
He showed the story as it was. As a matter of fact, Seth Rogen, who's in the movie, he said that the set was very emotional, that many times Spielberg would cry on set. And he and Seth would and other people would ask him, so this really happened this way? And Spielberg would say 100% that way. So he lived through it, and he tried to make exactly as it was, to do justice. Not that anything need judgment, but to tell the story as the story was, and how that made him into the man and the director he is. And it was the kid, I can't remember his name, is Gabriel, Daniel, I can't remember.
I don't know.
But the kid that was Spielberg for most of the movie, from teenage years to adulthood, he was like really stressed out. He was really worried, because he would not only be directed by Steven Spielberg, but he would be Spielberg.
That's a lot of pressure.
Working with Paul Dano and Michelle Williams, among others. There's a spectacular but there's a spectacular character at the end of the movie. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise. But John Ford, he's interpreted by a famous director. It's not Spielberg, you'll see. So he was really stressed out about. A fun fact about that scene with John Ford: when the kid only found out who would be the actor that would play John Ford in the movie, like a little bit before. So when he found out, he was nervous. And when we see him nervous in the movie, is Spielberg meeting John Ford. Is that kid meeting this famous great director?
Oh, that's great.
So there's all that. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. There was no effort made to glamorize himself or his family, but he did do just a beautiful job of showing people making mistakes without villainizing anybody. Like, we really, even though we didn't spend, I don't know. Yeah, he just did a good job of that. We see people we see people try and fail. We see people make horrible mistakes, and love and betrayal and all this stuff. But I don't come away from this hating anybody. There's just a lot of compassion and the way he portrayed all of it. It was beautifully done. And yeah, that kid who played Sam Feldman, Steven Spielberg, did an amazing job. I would love to see him get nominated for something. I think they all did great. Of course, John Williams did the score. The music was beautiful through the whole thing. Just a really well made, really thoughtful, camera shots. And I don't need to say that because it's Steven Spielberg. You already know. It's all thoughtfully and carefully and beautifully made. So definitely worth seeing. Very emotional, but in a very good way. No cheap emotional shots. It's just emotional because it's this great portrait of humanity and families and life, and it's great. It's well done.
Yeah, you laugh and cry, and it's a journey, and as I say, it's captivating, it's compelling, entertaining, and you basically don't see time passing. You see him growing up from watching the Greatest Show on Earth, to the end when he meets the director, that the beginning of his formal Hollywood career. It's really beautiful, and we recommend the Fabelmans, available in theaters everywhere. Of course, it's competing with Big Blue Giant, so we're gonna have to find a time slot, a screen. But fun fact, we saw the movie on a noon screening. It wasn't empty. It was actually pretty full. It wasn't completely full, but there was a lot of people. I don't know if it's always like that for every movie. We usually don't go at noon, but it was definitely a good thing to see. The movie theater almost full. Directed by Steven Spielberg. Paul Dano, Michelle Williams, the new kid I can't remember his name, Seth Rogen, among others. We see the girl Anna Cat from American Housewife. I can't remember her name, but she worked with she worked with Tarantino, and she worked now with Spielberg.
Yeah,
Russo brothers in the middle.
Got a heck of a resume.
Anyways, Fabelmans available everywhere. You should go see it. It's definitely one for the award season, and it would be deserved. Yes,
very much so. All right, let's take a look at the box office. Not everyone's doing that great. Babylon, this is a big movie with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not doing great. In fact, it might not even recoup its production budget.
Yes. Flopped hard.
Yeah.
And there's another one for Damien Chazelle's collection of flops.
Oh,
he did well on La La Land, but after that, not so well with pretty much everything.
I have yet to see anybody say anything positive about this movie. Like a lot of people don't like it, and for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, but there's very little people saw it. There's that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that flop. On the other hand, Avatar hit $1 billion already, which is around the same amount of time that Spider-Man No Way Home did. It's good perspectives. It's in a way to recoup the money back. It might fall a little after the holidays, or not. It bombed on China, so that will not help them. But it's definitely different than Spider-Man. It's definitely not a movie that you're gonna go watch again, because first it's too long. You might watch it again. It's like, hey, I need to take you to watch this, but I doubt it. Anyway, so it might start falling. But Cameron was on the news this week talking about how he had to cut 10 minutes of gun violence because gun violence is so yucky. Gun violence is a terrible problem. I don't want to glorify guns in my movie. Some of the stuff he talks about, it's like, how old is this guy? Anyways, yes.
Another thing he said that really got my goat, and I swear there's more to our podcast than not liking James Cameron, but he's just making a big deal about himself. Talks about how, if a pregnant woman going to war isn't female empowerment, I don't know what is. Something to that effect. And
bigger than Wonder Woman.
Want to say that a pregnant woman especially, having to do everything is not empowering. That's not empowering at all. And it just it is really annoying.
Well, he
I could go off. We've spent enough time
he
on
seems
James
to
Cameron.
know, and he seems to know woman very well. After all, he was married 6 times.
Yeah, and I think that about sums it up. It's not empowering to have to do everything. It's empowering to be supported in what you do. Okay, pregnant chief's wife, you should feel comfortable staying home to protect your baby who is not born yet, and trust that I can go and take care of other stuff. It's not. I didn't feel empowered. I was promised empowerment, and I came away being annoyed with men in general. Not this one, though. He's pretty great.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, Top Gun's not part of the box office numbers anymore, but it has become the most streamed title on Paramount Plus.
And it's the top 3 on all streaming platforms. Yeah, so, yeah.
So, continues to do very, very well. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're missing out. It's really that good. Not overrated at all. Okay, let's look at some Hollywood shenanigans for a moment. There's a really interesting lawsuit that was filed by some fans that might have an impact on trailers and the way movies are marketed.
Yes, fans of Ana de Armas that saw her in the trailer, but then went to see the movie because of her. And she wasn't in the movie, got extremely pissed, sued, and won.
Yep.
So they opened the perspective for future lawsuits against the studios if they show stuff on the trailer that never makes the movie. For instance, there's a couple ones throughout history, but as we mentioned, his Dark Materials on the trailer of the Dark Compass, the Golden Compass. There's a scene of Lyra on that version on that movie. In the beginning of the movie, there's a scene that she grabs something, and there's kids that want to hit her friend. What's his name? Thomas, Robert, Roger, and she says something like, "Don't cross this line." Jesus, such a great line. I can't remember, but she says that back in Oxford, and on the trailer they have the same scene. And she's saying that against the armies of the enemy that are coming. It's like, stay behind or you're gonna die. Something is not that cheesy. It's actually really cool, and the girls deliver really well. The movie doesn't have that. It was like, what the hell? It's
a bummer.
It is mirroring the one in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it works for so many reasons. So that's another case. But hey, the studios now might be liable, might be sued for showing stuff that they shouldn't that doesn't make the movie.
Yeah.
If anything, it's the opposite. They show way too much.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if this goes anywhere or if it's just like a one-time thing. And Whoopi Goldberg keeps saying things that should not be said. Or thought, but definitely not said.
She doubled down on the whole Jews are not raised, anti-Semitic comments. She did that a couple months ago. And the company, the broadcast company, suspended her for, I guess it was a week. She came and blah, 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 moved on. But now she was in England on tour for whatever. And on a radio interview, she doubled down on it, alarming the...
A weird thing to double down on.
Alarming the ADL.
The Anti-Defamation
League. And, some other Semitic Jewish organizations that saw that with really bad eyes. Quiet. She's even not speaking. She might be wrong about many things in this case, in this special.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Okay, not disappointing news. A couple of leading ladies are returning to roles, and it's very, very exciting. First, Fast X. Someone's coming back.
Yes, I don't know how, because she died on number
super dead.
4. No, 4.
Clearly,
6,
definitively.
7. It was actually a pretty bad death. It was like they didn't show the body. It was like poof.
Because there wasn't one.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Like, I don't know. It was no funeral. No, it was like, I guess if anything, it's a good way. Because if it was kind of off screen, they might find out. As a matter of fact, I fell on a hatch that led into a big warm lake. Anyways.
Oh yes, and just disappeared for all these years.
Yeah, who we were talking about? We're talking about Gal Gadot.
Yay!
Giselle, I think was her name. From the Fast Furious franchise. She might be back. She will be back for X.
little Freudian slip there. But she's not the only one coming back. Deadpool 3, they've promised that Anna Paquin will be reprising her role as Rogue.
Yeah.
I'm quite delighted about this.
Yes, also there's rumors that Funk Jensen will come back for Secret Wars. And Secret Wars is as in the books, it's a Marvel property, it's a Marvel comic, it's gonna be a movie about the multiverse conflict, and so characters from all over the multiverse gonna pop, and she could be one. And she was not only Jean Grey, but she was the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's the deal with that. So this one is a rumor. Anyways.
Okay, well, I would really love to see that because she very quickly was my favorite. And that first X-Men trilogy, that was like my really first intro into really loving superheroes and getting into that whole thing. Love those movies. Okay, let's go over to Star Wars for a hot minute. We've got some rumors about casting for Hera in the new Ahsoka series with Rosario Dawson et al.
Yeah, they did announce, I forgot the name, but they did announce a young actress to be young Ahsoka.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
No.
No? Oh, for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And also they just announced Mary Elizabeth Winstead to be Hera, which I don't know. I think she looks kind of young. It's tough too, because in the show, does she look like eggs? Because she's an alien, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, once you get her
But she
green and give her the there's a word for those that I forgot. I think she'll look fine.
Yeah. I guess it's
Her
because
voice,
Hera was like the sort of leader, mature, that put order in that mess that was the ghost. And she sounded, I don't know, maybe she's not old, maybe it's just because she's mature.
Yeah.
But either way, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, there was a huntress on Birds of Prey. She was the girlfriend on, what's the kid, Michael Cera?
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim.
Ramona, was it?
I think so.
She was Ramona and
It's been a
Scott
while
Pilgrim.
since I saw that.
And many other things.
Yeah.
The
She's
wife.
also Ewan McGregor's wife,
Yes,
right?
the wife
Yeah.
of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Aw.
Yeah.
Little Star Wars family. Because, of course, Ewan McGregor's the nephew of Wedge Antilles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, that's fun. Okay, we also saw the trailer for Bad Batch Season 2.
And it looks intense. The Empire keeps growing and taking over. But these guys will not let things go that easy. He will keep fighting.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be transitioning a little bit from like, we're just trying to stay alive to we've got to stop this very bad thing.
Yeah. The movie has a little bit of a time jump, not as much as Rebels. You know, Rebels, Ezra was a little kid and then he was a teenager. This one, Omega just got more hair.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's much, but the show still looks good and interesting.
Yeah, it sounded like Wanda Sykes is joining the cast.
Yes, she's definitely the new character.
Yeah. And it looks like we're going to see some Bail Organa. And yeah, looks good. And fun.
January 4.
So like next week, not very long at all. Okay, let's head over to Warner and DC and all of that mess. Some potentially good news.
Yeah, there's a whole mess. James Gunn is doing his thing. People cut and the organization. They just announced, did I put that about the Green Lantern? The Green Lantern show was apparently cut as well. There's nothing official, but there's something from a very good source.
That could have been so cool.
But there's a rumor that just about Green Lantern. There was and doing a link with Avatar. I can't remember his name. Darn it. The main character, Jake Sully. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the actor. Anyways, he auditioned for Green Lantern, the original movie. They ended up being landed by Ryan Reynolds. And
infamously.
He said that he didn't get the role because he couldn't get it. The most powerful weapon in the universe, the ring, he thought it was like too much, too impossible, too. It's like nothing can beat that. So he questioned that, and yeah, I ended up not getting the role.
Yeah, sounds like that was probably a good call. That's pretty crucial part of the story.
Yeah, it's all
like,
about will.
Yeah.
And the first thing you have is doubt.
Yeah,
I think that's the pink ring. No,
Yeah,
I don't know which one is it.
That sounds
But
more
it's
like Sinestro's.
Yeah, no, that's fear. Yellow is fear.
Yeah, but like doubt and fear. Yeah.
No, they have different colors in every.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Greenland. So Greenland was scratched. So James Gunn is doing the whole thing, and they said that there's come announcements as soon as the new year comes. But there's this rumor on the internet that Deborah Snyder would meet with WBD, an emergency meeting. There's rumors. It's not clear if it's true. It's not clear what it's about. But Deborah Snyder, Zack Snyder's wife. Not only that, she's a producer, accomplished producer.
And they write together, don't they?
No, I don't think she writes.
Okay,
but she
mind.
definitely produces together.
It's like a close partner.
Even when Snyder was gone from Justice League because the loss of his daughter, they were still involved, and she was involved in the production of Wonder Woman. There was like stupendous success. It was. Anyways, their hand were there and her hands were there. So there's this rumor, which, we never know. There's people wishing James Gunn is gone, but it's not clear what the studio's gonna do at this point because they say they're gonna present their ideas soon, which most likely means a big reboot, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's got to start proving himself pretty quick here.
Talking about
he's
proving,
made some like deeply unpopular decisions.
Talking about proving, and that's a very good word for it. Is like the only thing he did for DC and Marvel was Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's the secondary. That's the funny characters. That the sidekick type of characters to the main story.
The sarcasm, the wisecracks.
Yeah, when you're gonna deal with the deity, when you're gonna deal with the Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. You cannot go for someone that does that. Warner decided to go for that. It would be really surprising, and we saw the movies he did. It would be really surprising for someone that does what he does. Like, I'm a diverter, what they call it? Subversive. And that's one of the justifications he used for his old tweets that got him fired from Marvel. But Disney kind of closed their eyes and brought him back. Because DC brought him back. So there's this whole thing. So it would be very surprising for him to do, something on the level of I would not even compare to Snyder, but let's go back to Richard Donner. There was it had heart. It was fun, funny, but it wasn't like crazy jokes about, I don't know, penises and whatever. Anyways,
basically all of Peacemaker.
But yeah. So
we shall see.
That's how things are at DC Warner.
Yeah, and whatever else is happening, they are breaking a 17-year absence from the Super Bowl, and there's supposed to be a new Flash promo.
Yes, going head-to-head against Ant-Man and Quantumania. Those are the big, Marvel DC properties to show on the next Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, another highly anticipated project. This is coming from HBO Max, The Last of Us. We've been seeing some really exciting trailers, and now some reviews or comments are coming in. This is from the co-creator. He's saying it's the best / most authentic game adaptation.
Yeah, it could be good, but someone will say, "Oh, they're finally gonna break the curse of game adaptations. I mean, yes, we saw some pretty good adaptations lately. Namely, we've seen Castlevania on Netflix. It's really good. It's really good. And there's other adaptations that did quite okay. That did well. Like Uncharted wasn't bad. It was a nice, actually prequel to the game, and others. So, but as HBO, they have higher standards, and he also said not long ago that Bella Ramsey is the best Ellie ever. It's I don't know
compared to actual Ellie
to the
or
one to the game.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a fair or even possible comparison.
Yeah.
But Troy Baker that voices Joel in the games, he said that he after seeing Pedro Pascal, he was like, I think I would like do some things like he's doing it. But again, it's all in fairness and in good colleaguism.
Sure.
It's working, and let's see.
Yeah, I have every reason to think positively so far. The trailers look at least they look really good. With a huge caveat that I haven't finished the game yet, and I'm not like you before.
On Molly beefs
someday.
with the trailer, and I guess it's because of this whole woke moment that they have to explore things that fit their agenda. And by there, I'm not even talking about producers. I'm talking about sectors of Hollywood. It's the whole moment of the story of Ellie and her friend, which is technically a DLC in the game. It's not even part of the main game, and that's already on the trailer. And that's a justification, or a pre-justification to a future reference that Elle is actually a lesbian. But anyways.
That seems so irrelevant to the story.
Yes, but
okay,
they made the
whatever.
DLC. They made a DLC about it, and it's already on the trailer. So, I guess they're gonna explore that, even though it's the two little girls and things. Anyways,
okay.
But the show looks. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah,
we'll see.
At least the aesthetic is right. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, another game adaptation, The Witcher. This. Is Blood Origins a spin-off?
It is a spin-off.
Yeah.
Thousands of years before, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not doing well. Everybody's hating it. We didn't see it yet. We're gonna see it, but it had like a record low Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was like 9%, and fans and critics are agreeing it, which is rare.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So we'll see if it's really that bad, because I'm honestly curious. We might come back to it.
Okay, we'll see. But something that sounds a lot more promising is Joaquin Phoenix's performance in a new Ridley Scott film. They're still producing, still making it. But this film is about Napoleon, Joaquin Phoenix in the title role. And apparently he's really blowing it out of the water.
Yeah, the director said that he was so good that he's changing the movie drastically.
Yeah. I wonder what that means. Like, is he getting more into Napoleon's character? Is he... I don't know.
Yeah, he might go deep into the character when he could, give some room for the character. It was like, who cares about Josephine? Let's... Bonaparte!
I wonder... I mean, I don't know what part of Napoleon's life or career they're going to focus on, but I would so love to see the moment. And this is like the greatest flex Napoleon had. So... to crown himself as emperor for his coronation, first he had them like totally restore, well not restore, but like zhuzh up, glamify Notre Dame de Paris, the cathedral there, which had fallen into disrepair. So they cleaned it all up, got it all nice, and he basically forced the Pope to come to crown him as emperor, because that would like validate everything, and blessings of heaven and all that stuff. So he forces the Pope to come. Pope was not into it, but he comes anyway. And as the Pope reaches out to put the crown on his head, at the last moment, Napoleon took it from him and put it on his own head. In this incredible power move, and basically declaring that nobody, not even the Vicar of Christ, was more powerful than Napoleon. And only Napoleon himself had the authority to crown himself as emperor. Like, oh man, what a flex. What a move.
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
I just really, fingers crossed.
Yeah. One part is just coming soon. It's not ready, but yeah, they're really working on it.
Yeah.
2023 makes a couple more properties public domain. Sherlock Holmes, Metropolis. There's Virginia Woolf. There's among other books and works that Wings, a really old movie, the beginning of cinema. And if it's public domain, that means more versions, reboots, remakes. You saw so many Pinocchios. I don't know if it was because of that, but it definitely, when it becomes public domain, there's this possibility.
Yep. So I think last year it was Winnie the Pooh, and yeah, this next year it'll be Sherlock. We shall see. All right. I wasn't sure what these meant.
Oh, this is
okay.
This is when I copied it came.
Okay.
Last but not least, Pelé, the 3 times world champion soccer, World Cup of FIFA, passed away. He was also a movie star. He was in the movie Victory with Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine, among others. And yeah, he passed away. He was 82 years. May he rest in peace. And maybe he's gonna use the Jenga up there. Forget about the Jenga. The Jenga is something on a biography movie that they made about him.
What was that called?
Pelé.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pelé something. And it was like
I know.
The Jenga was like the force.
It's like the spirit of soccer, but only if you're Brazilian.
Yes, it's like the speed force.
Yes.
The force, the key. Anyways, I think that's it for this week. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, real quick. The best thing you saw this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's taking too long.
I'm sorry. I'm still riding high from the Fabelmans, so we'll say that. There's probably something else. Worst thing. Way of Water.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
No, we definitely saw worse things, but that's all I can remember right now.
Anyways, we come back next week and talk more about what we saw the best or the worst this year. It's gonna be a new year, so happy New Year!
Yeah.
May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.